Close your eyes and picture a T-Rex. You see the teeth, the tiny arms, and without even trying, you hear it, that throat-tearing roar that rattles the water in the glass. You are certain you know what a dinosaur sounded like. Every time you have heard that roar, you are being lied to. That specific noise never happened, not once in 150 million years of dinosaurs walking the planet. When sound designers needed a voice for the king of the Cretaceous, they didn't have a fossil to play. They reached for what they had: a baby elephant's squeal, a tiger's snarl, and an alligator's low gurgle. They layered those animals together and stretched them out until your spine tingled. Bones turn to stone, and footprints can harden for eternity. But a sound is just air, moving for a second and then gone forever. You cannot dig up a roar. Because sound itself does not fossilize, the only way to uncover the truth is to hunt for the physical, biological machinery that makes noise in the first place. For years, it was assumed that dinosaurs sounded like their direct, living descendants. The robin on your fence is a feathered dinosaur, so it seemed logical that its ancestors shared a similar voice. When a bird sings, it uses an organ called the syrinx. It is a delicate scaffold of stiff cartilage rings buried deep inside the chest, right where the windpipe splits to feed the lungs. In 2013, a paleontologist named Julia Clark found one of these organs preserved in 3 dimensions. It belonged to an ancient bird called Vegavis that lived 66 million years ago, and it had been sitting unnoticed in a museum collection for over 2 decades. This fossilized voice box proved the syrinx was a late evolutionary invention. It appeared close to the bird line, but it is absent from the rest of the dinosaur family tree. Look at the chest and neck of any non-bird dinosaur skeleton, like this T-Rex. The complex organ required to chirp or scream is missing. It was never there to begin with. Without a syrinx, a multi-ton predator lacked the equipment for a high-frequency cry. To find its true voice, we have to look much lower on the acoustic spectrum. Scientists use bracketing to fill the gaps. We have crocodiles on one branch and ostriches on the other. Every dinosaur sits on the branches between them. If crocodiles and birds share a behavior, the dinosaurs in the middle very likely did too. Neither a male alligator nor an ostrich opens its mouth to scream. Instead, they keep their jaws sealed and force air into a throat pouch. This produces a boom so low it makes the water physically dance off the alligator's back. This behavior is almost entirely a game for large animals. Out of 52 species that boom and coo this way, nearly all weigh over 100 grams. A small bird simply doesn't have the body mass to resonance at these frequencies. Now consider the scale of the Mesozoic giants. A T-Rex weighed as much as a truck, and Argentinosaurus was longer than a basketball court. At this scale, the dinosaur body effectively functions as a massive resonator for these low-frequency, closed-mouth rumbles. Some species evolved specific skeletal hardware to tune and broadcast these calls across the landscape. Parasaurolophus carried a massive, backward-sweeping crest that was long the subject of scientific debate. Some argued it was a snorkel, while others suggested it was a weapon. Internal scans revealed the truth. The crest is hollow, threaded with looping air passages, acting like a brass wind instrument. A physical model confirmed it behaves as an acoustic amplifier, taking raw sound and shaping it into resonant, far-traveling notes. Many duck-billed dinosaurs wore crests of their own, each with a different size and curve. Because the shape of the tube dictates the note, each species likely possessed its own signature pitch. These herds formed a complex, orchestrated landscape of tuned calls, a survival mechanism that allowed them to communicate across dense forests and keep the group together. This world of sound drops even lower than audible bass, into a range of communication that human ears cannot register. This is the domain of infrasound, frequencies pitched below the physical floor of human hearing. Massive land mammals use this today. Elephants send out deep rumbles that travel for miles through the ground and the air. A human standing nearby hears almost nothing, only feeling a strange sense of pressure. These infrasonic waves can travel for miles without fading, moving physically through both the air and the solid earth. On a Cretaceous floodplain, The giant herds and multi-ton predators likely filled the landscape with a constant conversation of these low-pressure pulses. In this environment, situational awareness meant feeling the physical impact of a sound wave before your brain could register a noise. It is time to discard the movie roar and embrace a different acoustic reality. You wouldn't hear the apex predator coming. You would feel it, a pulse in the dirt under your feet, and a pressure against your chest. By the time your ears caught anything at all, it would already be too late. The Mesozoic era was a vast, humming world of overlapping sub-bass booms and bone-rattling rumbles. Tell me in the comments, what dinosaur do you want to hear brought back to life next? And if you want to see the science that flips conventional wisdom, hit that subscribe button. The truth was quieter than the fiction, but in many ways more unsettling. It was a massive presence you felt inside your bones.